We expected drama on this fight card at UFC 259 with 3 championship fights featuring 4 champions, a chance for history to be made, and fight fans got a lot of everything in this fight. Impressive performance, a stunning finish in the first title bout, and then, as you said, a quest for history denied for Israel Adesanya. Paul Felder joins us now here on SportsCenter. And Paul, like, you picked Jan Blachowicz to win this fight over Adesanya. Adesanya loses for the first time in his professional career. What did you make about the game plan that Blachowicz went with in this fight?
Well, what I thought was really interesting is that he waited to really press the wrestling and look for the takedowns to get it to the ground. So that kind of impressed me. He stood with Izzy way longer than I really anticipated him to do. But it all paid off. He did well enough on the feet. He started to establish his jab. He started mixing in his own kicks as well. And then when Izzy thought they were just going to exchange and have a good old-fashioned fist fight, he mixed in those level changes, got those takedowns, and we saw that size difference really come into play once they hit the mat. A guy like Blachowicz is a big, strong guy. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I believe. So when he gets on top, if he wants to keep you there as a smaller guy, he's going to do so.
Yeah, a couple things there, because Izzy said that he wanted to come in lighter and not try to force himself to be bigger for this fight. He weighed in officially at 200.5 pounds, 205 on the nose for Blachowicz, but clearly Blachowicz probably had another 10 to 15 pounds at least on his frame once they stepped in the cage tonight. From a fight standpoint, when a guy's leaning on you for that long with that much weight, Paul, what does it do to everything else you bring to the cage?
Oh, man, it just shuts you down, right? All that blood is pumping into your muscles. You're constantly using your shoulders. You're pushing off the mat with your feet, your legs. Everything gets fatigued when you're in a grappling match like that. Then you've got to stand back up and try to kickbox. You've got to try to use those fast twitch muscles, use the speed in your jab, and it's just not there. And a guy like Blachowicz, who relies more on just timing and being powerful, it plays perfectly into his game plan to wear him out on the ground, and then when it gets back up to the feet, Izzy's just not quite as sharp. So, I mean, at first it looked like it might have not been the greatest game plan for Jan to come out and stand with Izzy for as long as he did, but ultimately it paid off beautifully for him.
Chael Sonnen joins us now. And Chael, as Paul was alluding to, we even heard Joe, DC, and John during the telecast. Everyone was anticipating Blachowicz to go for those takedowns a little bit earlier in this match and waited till the 4th and the 5th round. But once he got him down, it turned the tide on everything.
Guys, size matters. Listen, Blachowicz came out a little bit timid. He wasn't throwing his kicks at range. He wasn't stepping in there. He was very respectful of Adesanya. But one thing that Blachowicz found out is he didn't quite have the power, and I'm talking Adesanya. He didn't quite have the power. He wasn't quite the threat. That's when Blachowicz got used to it, which, by the way, guys, this was an interesting experiment, seeing Izzy go up, because when you hold that thought and you look at John Jones, who's doing the same thing now, except he is taking the time. He is removed himself to put on that size to fill into the division. It looks between those two schools of thought that Jones might be the one that got it right.
Well, Chael, as a middleweight, Adesanya throughout his career has shown a propensity of defending takedowns. 86.5% is how good he is defensively against takedowns. Why was he not able to be as successful against Blachowicz in those last 2 rounds?
I think a bit of it was element of surprise, right? We haven't seen Blachowicz do a whole bunch of this. By the way, don't forget, Adesanya just fought Yoel Romero, arguably the best wrestler in all of mixed martial arts. In 25 minutes, Romero only got him down 1 time. I think that Adesanya probably had a pretty good confidence in defending that. Maybe a good confidence that in a worst-case scenario, he could get back up. But overall, I don't think he thought that Blachowicz was going to go for that. Blachowicz set it up. He waited till 15 minutes in before he changed elevation and blasted him. Don't forget, Blachowicz went for 2 takedowns. He got them both. It was 100%. If Blachowicz could do it again, he probably would have started in round 1.
Yeah, I agree. I think after he got the success and got the fight down as easily as he did, I think he would go back and probably start that in round 1 or 2. But the other thing you've got to realize, too, is that several times Jan Blachowicz was snapping Izzy's head back with some punches, and he kind of leans forward when he throws those punches. So that's the perfect way to disguise that level change, and that's what Jan did. Sometimes he would lunge forward with big counterattacks, and then one time you change levels, and it caught Izzy completely off guard.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.